everyone and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show that generally keeps you up to date on everything surrounding League of Legends. Except now there is going to be more than just League of Legends. Help, I have no idea how I'm going to run this channel in the future. We haven't done an episode of Rift News in a while because, quite frankly, I was busy covering the story of every single card you can find in Legends of Runeterra. This means that we have 2 weeks worth of news to cover. So without further ado, let's start with what you can find on the live servers. As part of the 10th anniversary, you probably noticed that not only are all the original League of Legends characters on free rotation, but all of them also have new temporary art taken from some of the most popular fan arts. Also, remember that for the duration of the 10th anniversary, you get a gift for every day you log in and play one game, with the final reward being an any skin that looks like something that dropped out of the darkest corner of a manga store. Now, if you missed some days, don't worry. These daily missions appear to be running for 2 more weeks. So technically, even if you haven't logged on for a single day, if you decide to start right now, you should have enough time to still get the skin at the end. And speaking of skins that you can get right now, the latest addition to the store are this year's Halloween skins. Or harrowing skins, depending on how much you like to roleplay. The first of these is Witch Brew Blitzcrank, which gives me heavy PTSD. For some reason I have the urge to stay 5 yards from everyone and blame the tank. Seriously though, I know Blitzcrank has a lot of cool skins already, but this might actually be my new favorite. Then there is Count Kassadin, which doesn't have any drastic changes, but I really appreciate all the bets that surround him with every spell. And the last one is Bewitching Misfortune, which again is nice, but it's nothing mind-blowing. Unfortunately, she doesn't summon a storm of bats with her ultimate, which would have made her way cooler. However, she also gets a prestige version of this skin. And honestly, I do see this one as a legitimate improvement. I like the subtle green details helping out the white and gold. And I appreciate the fact that the model is actually different. She has a different head and her guns are much more detailed. The only setback could be that people are getting tired of the fact that all the prestige skins look the same. It's just white and gold, white and gold. And I have to agree. Sometimes making something white and gold doesn't make sense. For example here, Halloween is supposed to be dark and spooky. Now, wearing a tall pointy white hat used to be spooky in the past, but those times are gone. For the future, I would appreciate more diverse prestige skins. Of course, with these skins there are also a bunch of icons, award and emotes. And all of these are for the exact same tokens we've been hoarding for the entire event. But if you don't fancy cosmetics, and you like to prove your strength on the battlefield, maybe all you do is grind ranked games. And in that case, let's have a look at more cosmetics. Season 2019 ends on November 19th, so now you only have about 18 days to grind the rank you want. And the reward for your effort? The victorious Aatrox skin. Wait, no, give me a second, there it is. The victorious Aatrox skin. Now, I don't think this is going to be news to anyone if I say that when Riot revealed this skin, nobody liked it. In general, the internet went up in a little bit of an uproar. And I believe that's because this skin looks quite uninspired. I mean, the victorious name on its own won't really tell you what a champion should look like. But still, the players expected something a bit more victorious. Right now, Victorious Aatrox looks like he forgot to dress up in the morning. All the previous Victorious skins wore armor. Only Aatrox is wearing a latex suit for some reason. So Riot, if you want my feedback, look at someone like Victorious Graves. He is wearing actual armor, including an awesome lion shoulder pad. And normally Graves doesn't wear armor at all. But then we have Aatrox, whose entire body is supposed to be armor. But here he wears nothing at all. Please just look at Graves and do the same with Aatrox. You have reworked skins before, you can do it now as well. But thankfully, Victorious Aatrox isn't the only reward we are getting at the end of the season. Depending on your honor level, we are also getting an honor emote, which is better than award because at least you can use multiple emotes at once. Also, if you don't care about Summoner's Rift, and all you play is TFT, not only will we be getting Victorious Pengu emotes, again based on your rank, but there will be more TFT rewards announced in the future, which you will retroactively earn. Lastly, for the first time ever, your rank will also unlock the option to buy rank-specific merch. Now, we are not really sure what this merch is, but my guess is something like a shirt or a hoodie with your rank on it. There will also be a special Victorious Aatrox poster for anyone who got gold or higher. But considering what people think about this skin, I'm not sure how much profit this poster will generate. That's all the news from the live servers. But PBE is already packed full of a million new things. So, let's have a look at those. Because everything on PBE is intertwined now, we need to start with the most basic thing, which is the next champion. We already talked about her last time, but Senna finally dropped onto PBE, so we know what her abilities do. Here's a quick summary. Similar to Jhin, Senna is a slow-firing AD carry, where each shot hits hard. Just like Thresh, Senna's passive allows her to pick up souls, either from dead minions or from hitting enemies with abilities. And these souls increase Senna's range, attack damage, and crit chance. Her Q fires a bolt that heals allies, including herself, and damages enemies. Her W sends out a slow-moving ghost that after a delay roots everyone in an area around it. Her E creates a stealth area that moves with her, and that turns her and her allies invisible. What's even cooler is that when an ally leaves the stealth area, the enemy will not know which champion it is. Until they attack, all your allies will look like random Shadow Isles wraiths. And finally, her ultimate is a global death beam, or life beam depending on who you are. Because again, when Senna hits an enemy, it damages them, and when she hits an ally, it shields them. And that's pretty much all Senna can do. Now, the reason why I started with Senna when we jumped onto PBE is because the new skins on PBE include the members of the newest virtual band called True Damage. And not only is Senna a member of this band, but it also confirmed that the mysterious Nocturne leak was really a launch skin for the next champion. So, let's have a look at the skins now. As it was teased in the leaked image, Senna's new gun does have True Damage written all over it. Ironic, since none of her abilities deal true damage. But at least the skin makes up for this mistake with the giant subwoofer in the middle of her gun. And on top of that, all her abilities are visually themed around music. It all shows you pitch scales, 2D sound waves and even 3D sound waves. So overall, this is a pretty solid launch skin. But then there is True Damage Akali. Yes, this is the KDA Akali. The story goes that she made a new band after the KDA success. We don't know why or what happened, but that's a pretty shady move. No pun intended. The skin itself looks basic at first, but she kept her old KDA sprays. And her ability swapped from K-pop style to a new hip-hop style. And you can notice a True Damage logo on her blade. Ironic, since none of her abilities deal true damage. Next we have True Damage Yasuo. I really like how he's using his blade as a lever for his DJ table. And similar to Senna, when it comes to his abilities, everything here is also based on sound waves. Be it a quick squiggle during his Qs, 3D mapping in his tornado, a sound wave in his wall, or a circular sound wave after his ultimate. One thing that I'm missing here, and it's something that I would really like Riot to do, is that I would like them to add particle effects to his shoulder. In his art you can see how the boombox in his shoulder emits sound, and these circles would actually imitate his normal shoulder pad really well. I mean, even during his Odyssey skin, he didn't actually have a shoulder pad. But because it is an iconic part of Yasuo, they gave him a lizard to imitate it. I really hope they use sound particle effects to do the same thing here. A cool detail on this skin is that there is a KDA sticker on his blade, with what I assume is a True Damage sticker right below it. Ironic, since none of his abilities deal true damage. Next we have Qiyana. It's a bit strange how Qiyana wasn't really a popular champion during her launch. Most people thought that she was an uninspired character, but look at her now. Already getting a new skin while Ornn has to sit in the corner. The skin itself is pretty decent too. Visually it doesn't fit together as well as the other skins, but that's because Qiyana's color palette has to fit into all the elements. That's why she's mostly bright white. You can add any color to it and it will still look decent. But now you may be asking, well, if she's already mostly white and gold, how is Riot going to give her a prestige version? Well, that's where Louis Vuitton finally steps in. Originally, when the Louis Vuitton post mentioned that they are going to design capsules, I really thought they meant loot capsules, which would have been hilarious. But people corrected me that capsule is another word for outfit. And in this case, the Prestige Edition Qiyana was made in collaboration with Louis Vuitton. And let me be honest, it actually looks good. It is obviously advertisement, but it is not in your face at all. We only know that this is a Louis Vuitton design because of her earrings, and because of the tiny logos around her Ohm Ladle, which is the lore name for her weapon. So overall, Riot did a really good job with handling this promotion. One thing to note here is that the Prestige version loses the True Damage text on her legs, which is something we can find on the original skin. Ironic, since none of her abilities deal true damage. And then we have the last member of the true damage band, Echo. Unarguably the best skin in this line. Which isn't surprising since True Damage Echo is a legendary skin. But unlike some of the recent ones, this legendary is pushing the boundaries of what Riot is capable of. Every single little animation here is brand new. His standing animations have a couple of different cycles. His walking animations have incredibly cool new cycles. His attack animations are different, his spells are completely different, and the spell coloring is incredibly awesome. Also, his joke is a meme, and the best meme at that. What's even better is that True Damage Echo doesn't seem to be voiced by his original voice actor. As of me recording this, it wasn't revealed who voiced him, but I think it's clear that it has to be the singer, or rather the rapper from the True Damage band. The last cool detail is that his jacket has the True Damage logo on it. Ironic, you know the rest. Of course, all of these skins have a bunch of chroma versions, but Akali has an emerald chroma that creators will be giving away. And remember, we do that during our streams on Twitch. Then there are also some icons, emotes and a new ward. But that's still not it, because this transitions us into TFT, where Riot revealed a new batch of Little Legends. And after checking out the Skin Spotlights video on these, I realized people know me far too well. So let's have a look at these. We need to start with the fact that these Little Legends are also purely random, just like all the previous Little Legends. You buy an egg and not only do you have 1 in 3 chance of getting the Little Legend you want, but there is also 1 in 6 chance of getting the random chroma you want. Riot, people really don't like loot boxes. I think it would have been fine if you could buy a specific Little Legends egg and let the color be random. We'll have a look at the Little Legends now, but let me say that I really don't like 2 of them, but I kinda like the 3rd one. But because I can't focus on getting the one I like, I will probably not buy any eggs at all. Last time I wanted turtles, and all I got were wing protectors. Who's to say I'll get what I want this time? Anyway, let's have a look at them. The first one is called Osha. Oisa? Osa. Osia. And it was obviously themed after Akali. To be honest, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. And maybe that's why I don't really like it. Looking at its tail, it is probably a lizard. Unfortunately, the color variations don't really get me either. But still there is one themed after Shen, Kiana, Echo and Ash Ketchum. The second Little Legend is called Melisma. Another strange humanoid creature I can't categorize. It's probably a weasel. But then again, it has human hair on top of its own hair. I like this one more than the last one, but it still didn't get me. At least the color schemes are more vivid and recognizable. We have one themed after Shen, Kiana, Echo and Mr. Freeze. And finally we have the last one, which I like the most. Kiki, which was obviously themed after Kiana. Which, for me at least, actually takes away some points, because Kiana isn't exactly my favorite character. Either way, her dance is seriously all you need. The Star Guardian event died for this, because this is pretty much a mouse creature. The colors of her fur are very vivid, and each skin is totally different. There is one partially themed after Shen, Kiana, Echo and Kanye West. Overall, I don't really mind these, but I only really like one of them, so it is simply not worth buying the eggs for me. Also, the way Riot deals with level 2 and level 3 of the skins is exactly the same. By which I mean that the skins are exactly the same. Level 3 just has some particle effects on top of it. For the future, Riot, please make the level 3 models actually different. Now, the last thing regarding True Damage is that we will get at least one of their songs revealed on the 10th of November, which is in about a week. And we will get some True Damage loot, so be wary of an extra video in the form of an opening. And finally, let's have a look at the last thing on PBE, which are the new TFT maps. As an addition to the chroma versions of the classic TFT map, Riot decided to also sell complete remodels of the TFT arena. This of course means that these arenas will be a bit pricier, because we're not talking about a skin for one champion for 975 RP. We are talking about buying a skin for an entire battlefield. So in my opinion, the 1380 RP price is justified pretty well. But you haven't even seen what we are talking about. So let's have a look at what Riot is selling. Coming with the next patch, we have 3 completely new maps themed after Freljord. The first one is an Avarosen map. It shows you the fjordy woodlands of the Avarosens. Note that this map features classic Freljordian weapons, Avarosen flags on the sides, woodland creatures that actually roam around the map as the game keeps going, and your gold savings will be indicated by shards of ice. But what's even cooler is that when you jump into someone else's map, your savings will still appear as these shards of ice, so they travel with you. The next one is the Winter's Claw arena. This one is much darker and more fierce, because the Winter's Claw are a savage barbaric tribe. However, you can still see a couple of Poros roaming around. And yes, if you buy Brom, the Poros will grow a mustache. So the maps do react to the champions you buy. And the last game ready map is themed after the Frost Guard. You can see Lyssandra's crest everywhere, and there also appear to be her sealing runes in the middle. The coolest part of this map, no pun intended, is the dark true ice all around. Because this black ice is pretty much what Lyssandra's story is all about now, and it might even be a hint towards the Eye in the Abyss story. But either way, if you are not a fan of Freljord, Riot also showed us some of their early concepts for the other maps. We have one for Ionia, which features the giant blades we previously saw in Ionia's art. There is one for Blood Moon, where your savings are represented by dark runes. We have a Star Guardian map which takes place in the Valorant Park. And then there is my favorite, the Bilgewater map, that features a hammerhead shark on the side and where your savings are represented by treasure chests. I really like this one. Make it so that the cannons at the bottom fire every time you win a round, and I am all in. My last piece of feedback would be that I would love it if these different maps also had their music. Imagine if throughout the game the music stayed the same, but as you jumped from Bilgewater to Freljord, the instruments would swap from the pirate's accordion to the chilling Nordic violin. And speaking of violins, we are getting Jin's basement as a map too, right? Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.